Last fall we added some extra culvert up here on the neighbor's property to make it easier to mow around that phone junction box. And the other challenge that we started to work on, ran out of time, was sloping this more so that they could mow it and I wouldn't have to mow it for them. I'm gonna try to finish that up today because it's still too steep to mow. Yeah, let's see what we can do. I've mowed this ditch bank for neighbor Dave ever since I've lived here. He's got a John Deere 2032R first generation with a mid-mount mower, and this bank has just proven too steep for his comfort level. So over the years, you've seen us mow it with several different styles of mower, showing a couple here, first the sickle bar and now the Moschio offset flail. But I've always thought we ought to be able to improve this and make it not so steep. So last fall, after we got the culvert install finished, I decided I would tackle this. I really didn't think it would be that big of a deal. I thought I could shave a little bit off with the excavator here and we'd be good to go, at least on this inside of the ditch. But like a lot of the projects I start, it quickly grew in scope. We took a lot of the dirt off of the ditch bank here, had the whole neighborhood moving dirt. The idea was to cut that sharp edge of the bank off without changing the elevation of the bottom of the ditch at all. We had hoped that would be enough, but as Dave began his test drives, we realized, no, that wasn't quite going to make it. He's using my 1025R there for testing, and yes, the rear ballast is a little high, but yeah, that's not mowable. This was an unusually pleasant and warm November day, and you can tell by the length of the shadows that the day's about over. Well, it turns out we got a storm that night, and that was the end of our activities for the rest of the season. And we're now ready to get started on it again. Of course, this was shot in May, so it's a little bit behind at this point. Over the winter, while I drove by this every day, I just kept thinking about it. How can I make this better? How can I make this better? And it occurred to me that the ditch itself could be modified somewhat because there's a lot of slope between Dave's culvert down to my culvert. So I should be able to fill that in a little bit to reduce the sharpness of the angle. While I'm trying to decrease the slope by taking some off up here, my secret approach this time is to fill in some of the ditch at the bottom. So if I can use some of this dirt that I'm pushing off up here, maybe I can make this slope a lot easier to deal with. We'll see how that works out. I'm trying to use the power rake essentially as an angle blade here and just push that soil off to the side, going back and forth with the soil going downhill a little bit at a time. This is working pretty well at this point, but it seems slow. And as I get more and more of that loose soil on the steepest areas, I begin to slide downward. You can see me crab steering here to try to keep up on the ditch bank, and this situation just keeps getting worse. But no worries, we'll come up with a solution for that in just a minute. Meanwhile, notice how the soil just totally breaks up and just becomes dust. One or two trips over with this power rake and it looks like powder. Eventually it gets to where I can't stay on the bank at all. So I'm going to try another approach. This back and forth approach uses the oscillation of the machine and the front gauge wheels to do exactly the action that I'm needing. It digs down up on the slope and then deposits the soil right here in the bottom of the ditch. And given this powdery soil, it does it quickly, just one or two passes. You can see it from this angle. The bottom of the ditch goes from a sharp V to more of a rounded look. After one try with that, I decided to go along the side again to see if I'd made any meaningful difference. The improvement was dramatic, and it only took a few minutes. I can buzz right along on some of these areas that were really steep. I only tried that one area, so I've got more to do here yet, as you can see, but I'm pretty sure I found a technique that's going to work very well. Okay, well, I can't help but try it again. It is kind of fun to go sliding here with Vinny. We're sliding because that power rake is spinning backwards, so it's essentially pushing against me, and then as I steer upward, trying to regain my control, well, it just pushes down the hill even more. But as you can see, when we get up here to the area where I filled in the ditch crossways, we move right along. Dramatic change. So I'll get back to it. Check this angle out. Christy really captures what's going on here. Those front gauge wheels going up the opposite bank release the soil perfectly.
That did not take long. just put stuff out for free. He just got finished putting the grass grill out there, and there's a car that stopped.
Think I'm doing any good?
Yeah, I think so, but what do I know?
As much as I do. I'll run along, level it up a little bit and see what it looks like. I'm pretty sure he can't mow that side there. He probably could up there, but I'd have to push a lot more, and I still maybe should push a lot more dirt in there so he could potentially mow that side. Now we need to get Dave and his mowing tractor out here and see where we are. But first, let's see how Rex's spring cleaning's going. Okay.
This is nicer.
So you're giving us a boat and a hammock.
Yeah. Yeah. Hammocks are nicer.
Okay, you're just wanting to come lay in it.
Well, that may be. That may be. I have a place to put it now.
There you go. It's great to have good neighbors.
So this is fine, I'm sure.
Doesn't look too bad.
No, this is fine. Up here is going to be the tricky part.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. He's still skeptical, isn't he? I think it's going to be fine. Even using the mower deck as a grader.
Is it? Oh, it is, isn't it? A little bit.
So you're pretty good down there, it looks like.
Yeah. And I'm sure this is fine because I was getting down in there before.
This is a first generation 2032R. It's the last of the Yanmar design tractors for John Deere. You could buy these machines in 2015 and 2016 at quite a discount because they were transitioning to the new models. It's a solid machine. It does not have the full auto connect deck, and the seat's a little bit uncomfortable, not much suspension at all, but a solid tractor. Now he's on the next pass up the hill. Let's see if he can handle this. Well, that looks good enough.
Yeah. I think this is what I was expecting to be the worst part. That middle.
The reason I'm asking Dave to go over all of it, all three passes here, is because that pucker factor sometimes is just a mental block. It's hard to get over. And I need him to see that this is no problem now. He doesn't have to worry about it. While the potential of tipping your tractor over is real, a lot of folks have a pucker factor that is much more sensitive than that reality. And yes, that's why I don't hassle Dave about his ROPS. He is very unlikely to get the tractor in such a compromising situation. No, it looks wonderful. I'm gonna challenge you, circle around.
That one was. That's the first time. And I'm not sure. It may be the steepest towards your driveway. Yeah, that was the worst of them.
I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my job.
I don't know. I did better than I thought it would.
Yeah, see what I did was it's not as deep, so
Right.
you don't have to get down in there as far.
Right.
So even though it's kind of steep up there on the top, you don't have to get quite down in there as far.
Right.
And I'm not sure you can get it all.
That's what I was telling Christy. I think it's the steepest towards your driveway on the roadside.
But I can't fill it too much right down there because then it gets flat.
Right. Right. That's what I was saying. But to me, it looks to me that's the steepest of all of it now.
Yep.
Whereas before it was up here. But you flatten that out.
I think you can get most of it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I can do much more. I might be able to put a little more in down there. I'm not exactly sure where I'll get it. I guess I could bring some more out the side, even though it's already flat.
Yeah, I think I could get down in there now.
This property hasn't seen fertilizer since I've lived here, so I knew if I was going to get grass to grow on this new section, I was going to have to put some fertilizer down. So we'll give it a pretty heavy dose here. It's hard to tell on the video, but I put a couple of bags in and used it all before I got to the driveway.
Okay, so now neighbor Dave is overlooking at neighbor Rex's grill he's put out for free.
I'm afraid Christy's more interested in Rex's free market than our project here. What she didn't show was she herself going over and checking things out. Thankfully, she didn't snag anything. Of course, I got a new boat. I decided the aerator seeder would be the best tool to seed this particular property. I really like how I can get good seed to soil contact, actually get some buried pretty well with this seeder. I have more trouble getting a stand with the other seeder I have. It just seems to lay it on top of the ground, and I don't think I get good seed to soil contact. With the aerator, I get seed put at a variety of depths. Some of it's too deep, yes, but with the wide variety of depths, some of it's surely going to be right. The only time an aerator struggles is in really loose soil, like, well, right here. In those situations, I have to really watch it closely to keep it from piling up a bunch of dirt in front of me. But a lot of the rest of this wasn't tilled very deeply at all, so these holes just worked out perfectly, right? Some seed in the holes, some was covered by the dirt around it. All of it gets rolled nicely right afterwards. Stick around, we'll show you the results, the seed germination near the end here. Well, Dave, you shouldn't tip your mower over anymore.
Yep.
And I'm afraid I may have worked myself out of a job.
Yeah, I think I can pretty much get in there now.
Yeah, I hope so. I may have to get some of the roadside. I didn't really have a good solution on that, but hopefully we can get the seed growing.
Yeah, if we get a little rain, I think it'll take off.
I hope so.
What we're not doing is putting straw on it. We've not had good luck getting straw to stick, and I think we're all too tight to use the
Blankets.
braided or blanket straw, and so yeah, that's we could probably get a crimper and figure out a way to do this, and we may have to do that in the long run, but for right now we're going to go without Dave, and if we have to reseed it this fall, we'll just do it. These photos are from late June. I wish we'd have got some earlier photos. We got a great stand with our seed, but the crabgrass seems to be taking over. You can see it on both sides, down in the ditch and up at the top. Our grass is the darker green there in the middle. I can't yet tell if the crabgrass is going to totally choke out our good grass, but it's not looking good at this point. We'll probably have to overseed this fall, but even having that crabgrass straw in there should help the overseeding to be able to take root and have enough moisture to get started. And then if we get good fall growth, we can use crabgrass preventer next spring. Dave seems real excited.
Sounds like a plan.
Dave's retired. He's real laid back.
Yeah, I think you are more laid back than you were last time we talked. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. For me, wet down in the ditches to get something down in there. So I decided I would try one of my offset approaches. Today we're showing our sickle mower. Haven't shown it in a long time.